Autophagy is one of the most vital cellular processes for healthy aging, a built-in housekeeping system that clears out damaged organelles, misfolded proteins, and metabolic waste. Its proper function supports everything from brain health to immune resilience and metabolic balance. Yet what's often overlooked is that autophagy doesn't just depend on macronutrient cues like fasting or low insulin. It also relies on a steady supply of micronutrients, especially vitamins that serve as coenzymes and antioxidants. Even when a person avoids overt vitamin deficiency diseases, subclinical deficiencies, those that fall just below optimal but above pathological thresholds, can significantly impair autophagic pathways. Over years or decades, these quiet insufficiencies may accumulate into a silent storm of cellular dysfunction, undermining longevity at its most basic biological level. Many essential vitamins directly support the enzymes that fuel and regulate autophagy. For instance, B vitamins such as B2, B3, and B6 are required for mitochondrial energy production, NAD, regeneration, and amino acid metabolism, all of which intersect with autophagic efficiency. If these vitamins are even modestly lacking, the enzymes they support become less efficient, slowing down the entire recycling process. A cell trying to clear out damaged mitochondria or protein aggregates may lack the energetic capacity or redox balance to do so effectively. The result is incomplete or stalled autophagy, what scientists call impaired autophagic flux. Over time, this means waste builds up faster than it can be removed, particularly in high-turnover tissues like the liver, brain, and muscles, increasing the risk of age-related diseases. Vitamin D, often associated with bone and immune health, also plays a quiet but potent role in autophagy regulation. It influences gene transcription for several autophagy-related proteins and modulates inflammation, a factor that tightly interacts with cellular cleanup. Low-grade, chronic vitamin D deficiency, which affects a sizable portion of the global population, may reduce the cell's ability to transition from a pro-growth to a pro-repair state. Inflammation remains unchecked, reactive oxygen species accumulate, and cells fail to initiate the kind of deep maintenance needed to stay resilient with age. Subclinical deficiency doesn't cause rickets, but it may cause slow, systemic erosion of cellular housekeeping mechanisms that only become apparent in midlife or beyond. Even antioxidants like vitamin C and E have indirect but meaningful effects on autophagy. Oxidative stress is one of the strongest triggers of this process. Damaged cells use it as a cue to self-clean, but paradoxically, excessive or unbuffered oxidative stress can also overwhelm the system, leading to malfunction or cell death. Vitamins that neutralize free radicals help maintain the redox balance required for autophagy to be adaptive rather than destructive. Subclinical depletion of these antioxidants allows chronic, low-level oxidative stress to persist, not quite enough to provoke a full cleanup, but enough to damage proteins and membranes incrementally over time. The body ends up in a dysfunctional middle ground, not healthy enough to thrive, not sick enough to notice. Another subtle but important factor is that marginal vitamin deficiencies alter the cell's ability to sense its internal environment correctly. Energy sensing pathways like AMPK and mTOR do not operate in isolation. They rely on an integrated network of biochemical signals that include nutrient cofactors. For instance, low intracellular NAD levels, tied to vitamin B3 status, impair the activity of sirtuins, enzymes that activate autophagy and mitochondrial biogenesis. Similarly, inadequate B6 may reduce the cell's ability to detoxify homocysteine and other metabolic intermediates, indirectly promoting a pro-inflammatory, pro-aging internal environment. These small imbalances are rarely picked up by routine blood work, but they can have significant long-term effects on cellular aging trajectories. What makes this issue particularly concerning is that subclinical deficiencies are incredibly common, especially in older adults. Absorption efficiency declines with age, chronic medications interfere with vitamin metabolism, and modern diets often fall short in micronutrient density, even when calorie intake is adequate or excessive. People can be overfed but undernourished, especially if their diet is high in processed foods that are calorie-rich but vitamin-poor. Add to this the rise of restrictive diets or intermittent fasting strategies that, if poorly designed, can reduce micronutrient intake even further, and the risk of quietly blocking autophagy becomes very real. This reality reframes how we should approach both longevity and nutrition. It's not just about reducing calories, cutting carbs, or extending fasting windows. It's about ensuring that the biochemical machinery of autophagy has the cofactors it needs to function continuously, not just during metabolic stress. The goal is not merely to trigger autophagy, but to ensure that the entire process, from initiation to completion, is supported by optimal intracellular conditions. A person who fasts but is marginally low in vitamin B2 or D may experience impaired repair, not enhanced renewal. In conclusion, subclinical vitamin deficiencies represent an invisible threat to cellular longevity. They do not announce themselves with overt symptoms, but they slowly sabotage the body's ability to perform internal maintenance through autophagy. Over years, this leads to the buildup of metabolic debris, increased inflammation, mitochondrial inefficiency, and faster biological aging. The solution is not just dietary restraint but micronutrient precision, ensuring that each vitamin-dependent enzyme involved in autophagy has what it needs to work efficiently and continuously. Anti-aging strategies must move beyond the broad strokes of fasting and calorie control into the finer detail of micronutrient sufficiency, where small imbalances can quietly steer the course of aging itself.